Hi, I wanted to come and talk with you today about a really painful subject for a lot of people. The pandemic has been especially hard on relationships, whether they're family relationships or couple relationships, spouses. And this is a time where I'm seeing people saying, I can't do this anymore. I really don't want to be married. I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. So today I want to talk with you briefly about if you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship. Those are absolutely shocking words to hear. Once we're married and we have some time with our spouse, we oftentimes feel like it's locked in. We forgive each other a lot of our little daily misgivings. We come to or think we understand our spouse, and oftentimes we don't notice that quiet withdrawal or that shutting down or the sarcasm or the criticism as perhaps signals that things are really going wrong. We can almost take them for granted in our relationship. But I'm here to talk to you about if you are weathering the storm and currently going through a separation, there are some things you can do that will help, and there's some things you will do that won't help. First of all, don't take on all of the blame yourself. Yes, you could have done things differently, but a lot of people do things maybe not always in the best interest of each other or their spouse, but they don't end up separated or divorced. So first of all, don't take all of the blame. Secondly, I want you to know that you do need to own and claim what part you think you might have played in the relationship going south. So in other words, perhaps your mate has actually given you some information and said things like, you were too critical of me. I really couldn't deal with all of the stress you were putting on me. Oftentimes when our mate finally walks out the door, they have given us some information over time, or you can text them and say, I get that you need some space right now. It would be helpful for me if you could at least tell me what it is that how I could have done things differently, or how our relationship could have been differently. Again, without assuming all the blame, but at least giving some feedback or getting some feedback. The third thing is don't pursue your spouse. And this is the hardest of all of the things I'm going to talk with you about. You just want to tell them probably, oh, listen, give it another chance. We can make it better. I'm changing. I'm going to a therapist. Why don't you go? We've got kids. All these things can be seen as really desperate attempts by your spouse or your partner who's walked out the door. So you don't want to do that. I have a saying, desperate is never attractive. I also have a saying that oftentimes, whether or not your spouse will go to counseling, therapy, or coaching, the one of you can bring the two of you together. And there's a book that I use called How the One of You Can Bring the Two of You Together. There's another book called Too Good to Leave, Too Bad to Stay, which will help you evaluate whether or not this is even a marriage that you want to be in, or a relationship. If there were abuse, domestic violence, any kind of threats, active physical threats or whatever, it probably is good that your spouse has walked out if that was the threatening person. This will give you a chance to get the help that you need, and to really see the relationship more clearly. So I'm going to be posting some daily coaching videos on how to work through a breakup. I myself went through one. Oh my goodness, it's been at least 25 years ago. And at the time I was totally unprepared, did not see it coming, had just moved to a new city, had no idea what to do, had a small child, no job at the time, had left a really great job in St. Louis when I moved to Louisville. So I've been through that walk. I understand it. I totally get it. I totally get the temptations that come with that. And I also understand and have learned so much on how you can improve yourself, and perhaps in doing that, the relationship will also change. Thank you for listening. I hope you turn back in and listen to the next video.